Welcome YouTube land and also to social media lands. Welcome to an all new video. In this video we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out this past Friday. And is a prequel film to a film that came out in 2015. So we're going to get right to that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Pretty much I post on those regularly, so definitely check them out. As always people, let's get right into this. So welcome one and all. Welcome to an all new video. So like I was saying before, we're doing a movie review of a new film that just came out this past Friday. And is a prequel film to a 2015 film that is a part of this great universe that got started back in the late 70s called Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Yeah! Furiosa and Mad Max Saga. Yeah! So Furiosa is the newest film in the Mad Max series. Of course, brought to us by the great, amazing leader of that pack of directors. And this film series is a very interesting series that you love it or you hate it kind of deal, I feel, and a lot of them are good and then some of them are crap, and it's kind of one of those deals where you're just like, I'm not sure how much, I'm into this, but at the same time, I can't help it because it has such a great director, great cast, and all this kind of stuff, and you're just kind of like, this is an interesting series after all, and, it's one of those things that, I feel that a lot of people, like I said, they either love them or they hate them. And that's kind of what I've come across in the fandom for the Mad Max films and so forth. Because some people absolutely love certain ones. Other people love all of them. Some people are like, I hate that complete series. And I think it's kind of funny how, such a random selection of how different people are thinking of these films. And I feel kind of the same way, like some of them are great and some of them aren't, and I'm like, hey, this isn't too bad. And I'm like, well, I feel like I gotta give at least this one a chance, because I know a lot of people weren't too sure about this film coming out. A lot of people looked like they wanted to see it, but at the same time, they're kind of like, we really like Fury Road, we don't really want anything else to see, a different Furiosa and stuff like that. So I feel it's one of those kind of things, like this film has very mixed feelings from all types of different people that enjoy different types of movies. So, of course, this film is none other directed by a gentleman that goes by the name of Mr. George Miller. Oh yeah, George Miller, woo, George Miller, yeah! So George Miller, who has directed quite a few of the Mad Max films, and also has, directed a few other films over the years, is just a great director. He's a master director. He's from Australia. He really knows how to kick butt when he directs films. He has a great eye for action, great eye for, the cinematic viewing pleasure, and he always has, I feel, a really great grip on kind of like that sci-fi, post-apocalyptic nature. He's got a very distinct way of doing it, and I enjoy what he brings to these films, and I enjoy everything that he does with, the films that he's directed over the years. And when it comes to Furiosa Mad Max Saga, I really enjoyed what he did with this one. I definitely felt it was an upgrade from the last one at Fury Road, and I really enjoyed what he brought to this one, where he made it seem more about the action, more about, the better story about Furiosa and how kind of she became Furiosa. And I enjoyed that this film definitely wasn't, I felt, had a lot of dead spots like Fury Road did, and I thought George did a lot better job of directing this, managing it, editing it, and just had a better scope of what he wanted to show versus the last time he made a Mad Max film. And I just really enjoyed what he brought to this. I loved all the action sequences throughout this whole film. I loved the storyline. I loved what all the actors and actresses brought to their characters. And just overall, I thought that it just was a really great directing effort by George Miller. Now, if you haven't seen anything else George Miller has directed, definitely check out a great film that came out just a couple years ago that he did, that I thought was a really fantastic film and really enjoyed it. And that, of course, is the film called 3,000 Years of Longing. Yeah! 3,000 Years of Longing. Yeah, this is an absolutely fantastic film. Idris Elba, Tilda Swinton, and it was just so well directed by George. He did a great job of giving us this Daijin film, which is basically about a genie that is played by Idris Elba. And I think that the whole concept was so fun and so amazing. And I just loved what George did with the film. I love how he gave us all these different eras and how he gave us this very fairy tale storytelling throughout this film. And how he also gave us a really fun kind of like rom-com slashed with a drama, romance, and it had all the different aspects because it had some comedy, it had dramatic elements, it had, fantasy, it had all these different things, and visually it was just so unique and cool looking. And I just love what George brought to it, and I thought it really showed how amazing the director George is and how great of an imaginative mind he has. If you haven't seen anything George Miller has directed, definitely check out 3,000 Years of Longing. He did a really fantastic job with that. But I really enjoyed what he did with Furiosa. I thought he made a way better film than Fury Road. I enjoyed this so much more, and I thought it was just such a great film that he gave us such a great, iconic new villain that was just so on point and fun. And I thought George did a great job with this film and gave us a really solid, amazing film. If you haven't seen Furiosa yet, for George's directing, go check it out now in theaters. He did a really phenomenal job. So this film doesn't have a very big cast, just a couple really great actors that really are the main characters of the film that really brought this film to life and gave us some really exceptional performances that were super fun, really enjoyable, and just overall gave us great performances that really, I thought, built these characters up better and gave us a better performance of these characters than the previous people. Now, to start us off is the main villain of the film themselves, Mr. Chris Hemsworth. Oh yeah, Chris Hemsworth, woo, Chris Hemsworth, yeah! Absolutely love Chris Hemsworth. Of course, you might recognize him from the Cabin in the Woods remake. You might recognize him, of course, in the Thor films from Marvel or the Avenger films. You might recognize him from a slew of other things he's done, the Ghostbusters 2016 film, or 2015 film, I should say, and a whole bunch of other things over the years. And he's just a really fun actor. He's always fun to enjoy, and I always appreciate everything he brings to his characters and how he always goes out of the box and does different things. And I think Chris does a great job of bringing those characters to life and give us really solid performances. Now, in Furiosa, I really enjoyed his villain. I thought he was a far superior villain than Immortal Joe. And I really enjoyed what he brought to his character's film, and I thought he was a really superb character. The whole thought process behind his character just was well developed and really well played out by Chris. And I just really enjoyed everything he brought to the character and how his relationship was with Furiosa and with the other characters throughout the film, and how he really brought kind of it was really a very, fatherly figure type of deal, but at the same time, his worldviews and wanting certain things just were so out there, and basically made him like a madman. But at the same time, it's like when he wanted something, he went for it, and he was even more crazier than, I think, Immortal Joe. And I think that he did a great job of bringing that character to life, giving really solid villain in this film, and just was such a better villain altogether. Because at the same time, you actually saw him out there doing a lot more stuff. Like, you did see Immortal Joe do stuff, but at the same time, you didn't see him in the extent like you did Chris Hemsworth's character that was in the film. And I thought that it was nice to see him more embattled in the battles and stuff like that, and doing more and stuff like that. And I just really enjoyed this villain versus Immortal Joe. Not saying Immortal Joe was horrible, I just think that this character version that Chris brought to life was a little better villain, and I just really enjoyed what he brought to it, and even his demise at the end, how it all became, was just really awesome. I thought Chris did a great job with his character. Now, if you haven't seen Chris Hemsworth in anything, definitely go check him out in a great film that came out in 2017 called Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, Thor Ragnarok. Ooh, his best outing as Thor yet was this film. He was absolutely fantastic in this film. I love that he got his hair cut in this film. I loved his whole thought process throughout this film, and I just absolutely thought he was such an awesome new character version of Thor. I liked his evolution throughout this film. I liked how he brought it and how he did it, and I just thought that he did such a great job of bringing this character to life, Thor, and really, changing the what Thor was like between, the first Thor outing, the first Avengers outing, and kind of where he was when Ragnarok was taking place. And I just enjoyed that, Chris did a great job of evolving Thor and giving us a really solid performance in that just really showed his acting chops, his comedy chops, his dramatic chops, and also just his awesomeness of being Thor. If you haven't seen Chris Hemsworth, definitely check him out in Thor Ragnarok. He did a really fantastic job. Now, he just was so freaking awesome as the villain, like I said, in Furiosa. He was so good. And if you want to see this film, definitely check it out for him. He was probably the best part of this film besides Anya Taylor-Joy. He did such a phenomenal job in this film. Absolutely loved his character as Dementis. He was just so super cool and was absolutely amazing as his villain. If you haven't seen Chris Hemsworth recently in anything, go check him out in Furiosa in theaters now. He was absolutely phenomenal. So that brings me to the final person I'd like to talk about that was in this film, and that is Furiosa herself in the film, Miss Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy, woo! Anya Taylor-Joy, yeah! Anya Taylor-Joy is a phenomenal actress. She is absolutely fantastic, and when I saw that they picked her to play younger Furiosa, I was absolutely ecstatic because I absolutely think she was a perfect choice for this character. And once after seeing her in this film, I'm like, holy crap, she should have been Furiosa this whole time. They should never have casted Charlize Theron as the character because Anya Taylor-Joy blew this out of the water. Absolutely loved her in this. I thought she was super fantastic. Enjoyed her way more as Furiosa. And I just think that she did a phenomenal job throughout this film. I mean, the fact that a lot of her, scenes where she's like not talking, the facial expressions, the expressions she gave off were so well constructed by her. And she acted them out so well and gave us a really great sequence. And then when she did start talking and all that kind of stuff, it just even got better and better. And some of the scenes that she had where she's just kicking butt and her, evolution throughout the film to getting the fake arm and all this kind of stuff and shaving her hair, and which is super cool too as well. And she just embodied that and gave us this really fantastic performance that was just super enjoyable and just really well played out. And I liked the intricate details she did by giving her own little bit of spin on Furiosa versus Charlize Theron. And you definitely felt more emotion with Anya's version of Furiosa 2. She actually embodied, I felt, more than Charlize. And rewatching, Fury Road the other day, after watching Anya do her performance, Charlize just felt very deadpan. She just seemed very not emotional and stuff like that, and didn't feel like anything that I thought Anya brought to it. And at the same time, I felt that even with the experience, Anya had, as a younger Furiosa, I feel that she still would have had a lot more emotion than Charlize brought to it. And I felt that Charlize was overacting too much in her version too as well. And I just thought Anya did a way better job. Really fantastic job by Anya. She was just so freaking amazing. Now, if you haven't seen Anya Taylor-Joy in anything, definitely check her out in a great film that came out a few years back that's a part of a great trilogy brought to us by M. Night Shyamalan called Split. Yeah, Split. Yeah. Oh my god, this is such a freaking amazing film. She was absolutely amazing in this film. Her portrayal in this was like phenomenal. She deserved every Oscar nomination, every award she was nominated for this film, because she just was utterly amazing and just so freaking awesome. And I just loved everything she brought to her character in Split. I liked the performance. I liked how she reacted to all the different characters throughout the film. And I just really thought she brought this character to life and gave us a really phenomenal performance that just was super enjoyable. If you haven't seen Anya Taylor-Joy anything, definitely check out Split. She was absolutely phenomenal. But once again, she was phenomenal in Furiosa. Absolutely loved her take on the character. I loved it. I loved her look. I thought she did a way better job than Charlize. And I just think she was a way better choice for this character that kicked butt and did a really great job. If you haven't seen Anya Taylor-Joy anything, definitely go check her out in Furiosa in theaters now. She was absolutely fantastic. So what is Furiosa, a Mad Max story about? Basically, it's the origin story of who Imperator Furiosa is. Basically from her young childhood and basically what she went through to become the Furiosa we know as Charlize Theron in Fury Road. And kind of her story leading up to the beginning of Fury Road when she, helps those women escape from Immortal Joe's compound that we see at the beginning of the film. Really well done film, amazingly done. I thought George Miller did a fantastic job with this film. Way better effort, way better film than Fury Road. It was absolutely fantastic. I just absolutely loved this film. I thought it was super enjoyable, super entertaining, great action, great CGI, great explosions. I mean, definitely, George Miller has his take on how he does CGI and stuff like that for his films, and you can definitely tell how CGI'd a lot of things were. But at the same time, it had a great kind of almost stick figure quality or like a claymation look to it that just made it more entertaining and more fun. If you haven't seen Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga yet, definitely go check it out in theaters now. Worth a watch. Giant 10 golden boot boxes up. Can't wait to add it to collection. Really fun film. Just hands down a great film. So that's it for this movie, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. If this is your first time here, or you have been here before, don't forget to check out the older new videos you might not see mine yet. As always, people, a huge shout out to my followers, old and new. You guys are rocking it. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, commenting. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Keep on watching. And if you want to show us some more support for the channel, please check out my Patreon page. We get all kinds of extra cushion once you become a member, where you get ideas for movie reviews you like to see, outtakes, bloopers, merchandise, all that kind of cool stuff. So please check that out. As always, catch you in the next one.